my name's Leonard Botello from Truth BBQ, Houston, Texas and Burnham, Texas. I just got fixated on cooking brisket like over and over and over and over and over again, and I'm still a little obsessive compulsive over it. Every day is a new day. The wood's different, the brisket's different, the cows are fed different, the weather's different. So it keeps me like on my toes, and I got super fixated on that and started the one in Burnham, cooking 3 briskets up to I don't know how many we do now. And I always wanted it to stay like true to Texas barbecue, like how it was always done or meant to be done. Just like straight wood, offset cookers, and a lot of hard work. So that's why we decided to name it Truth. Like once you start cooking barbecue and you realize like fire is such a strong element of the earth, if you're like really watching it and paying attention, it'll start to like blow your mind, like realizing that you're controlling this element. Once you figure that out, like, and really understand like how to maintain temperatures and fluctuations and all that, it kind of opens your mind to like, oh, I can cook with all these other proteins, all these different ways. And just realizing like how many different ways you can cook with fire, I think really got me obsessed with that. You're spending so much time and like keeping consistent temperatures, and every piece of wood is going to be different. It might not be the same size, it might not be aged the same amount, and like really getting a good feel for it, it's like a sixth sense, and you're enjoying doing it. Like, you know, those guys that are out there playing basketball or baseball, they could go and do it all day. That's kind of like the way it is cooking with wood and fire for us. What's special about it is you can pick up and do it wherever you want. You don't have to have a specific type of equipment. Just as long as you know how to control and maintain temps, you can kind of do whatever. So from the outside looking in, it looks like you're just load wood, but there's so much more that's deeper than that, of like understanding like what you're grabbing, how to maneuver the fire, how to transfer the heat from end to end. There's a lot more that goes into it. There's certain points in my career I'm like, wow, I can't believe I've learned this much. I mean, I'm still like learning now, I feel like, every day. And now the new brisket is our whole hog that I love cooking. So that's a new project that we've been working on for a little over a year now. And I really enjoy doing that. I don't know why, I like the difficult ones.
Is barbecuing easy?
No, still to this day, like, no. Dude, especially on the summer days, it's rough. It's a labor of love, honestly. Like, if you don't love it, it's gonna be too hard, because we love doing it. It's still difficult, but you know, it's so satisfying to go through a 12-hour cook and like, man, I just did this whole thing. Like, it's still satisfying for us. But hot days, cold days, if the wood doesn't want to cooperate with you, the meat doesn't want to, it's all difficult. It's just about putting everything in the right place at the right time and making it work. Consistency is the name of the game on this scale. You want to keep everything the same. What we do is very tedious. Like, we're rotating the briskets on and off the walls, keeping them out of the radiant heat, just so that we're making sure that all these briskets are getting the same amount of attention at the same time. It's a little bit more extra work, but at the end, it's worth it, because we're getting a more consistent product on the cutting block. So it's difficult, but somehow we do it. We didn't want any of the sides to be an afterthought, so we really took the time to develop those. We try to complement the pretty colors of the dark browns or the mahoganies of the proteins, and kind of precisely lay different color sides to help complement that, the pickled onions, so everything really just pops on the plate. We didn't want you to come and just get good barbecue. Back in 2014, everything was real hush-hush. Like, everything was still trade secrets. Nobody would tell you where they got their meat, their wood. Man, back then, there was no YouTube videos on barbecue. It was all trial and error. And I think that's what made me and us better. I'm not doing somebody else's method and just going through the steps. It was just repetitive, like, this doesn't work, this works, maybe if we put this there or that there, and switching things up. Like the brisket that we cook, I tell people 6 years ago is not the brisket we cook today, and it probably won't be the same 6 years from now, just because we always want to keep evolving and looking for a better method or improving ourselves time over time. The wood is everything. Like, anytime that I'm like talking barbecue with anybody, I will like start with the wood, like what you're looking for, but the wood will turn a good cook to a great cook. And what's good about the wood that we use, it's so consistent, and consistency is the key when you're cooking barbecue. The wood that we use and the wood that they provide, it's aged for the right amount of time. It burns great. It doesn't smolder out. Like some of these woods that are like not naturally dried, they're force dried or whatever, they light up like a match on the outside, and then once they get to the center, they're smolder out real bad. So that causes that real bad fluctuation in temperature. So man, having good wood it's like having good meat. Like there's certain things, like a good pit, a good source of wood, and a good meat that's everything that you need in barbecue. Consistency. It's just, I've gone through so many different wood suppliers. The way that they're doing it at Chief Firewood, you know, they're properly aging it. They're cutting it, they're splitting it, and they're stacking it, then aging it to get that consistent, you know, profile that we're looking for. And I've had over 100 different wood suppliers come up to me, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, I got no reason to get wood anywhere else. It's not gonna be as consistent. Like, I already know, I've tried so many. So we've built that relationship with those guys, and I have no desire to try any other wood. We were doing a class out in Lockhart a couple weeks ago with the mill scale guys. I was bringing the rig up, and I called him. I was like, hey, do I need to bring some wood? He's like, no, we got 2 cords up here. I was like, where'd you get it? They were like, in Smithville. I was like, the Chief Firewood? They were like, yeah, we use their wood. I was like, all right, then I'm not gonna bring any. I was like, if you said anybody else, I was gonna load the truck down. Great relationship with those guys. My name's Leonard Botello from Truth BBQ in Brenham, Houston, Texas, and we use all Central Texas post oak wood from Chief Firewood.